It is hard to convey intangible suggestions in the rigid forms and patterns of words. What I felt then was a kind of fear. The man for whom this story is told may or may not be alive. The cold, heavy air of my room was threaded with sounds which appeared to have no point of origin and which was as much a vibration I felt through my skin as a resonance in my ears themselves. Perhaps the slither of a snake's scales across a stone floor. Even treachery to a friend can be the lesser of two evils.
Now, Sloane is a new discovery for me, mostly because these are the main two novellas he wrote, and unless you are digging into cosmic horror specifically, you might miss him. But don't. Yes, for a writer of the 1930s, there is something staid and patriarchal about his characters and settings. But after some sighing over his era, we find some potent writing and ambiguous slow burn horror. Combined with a kind of whodunit plot structure, and his story moves into some really original territory. What I was drawn most to is his character development. Sloane's protagonists, or his antagonists and minor characters too, are not simply any one type, singularly motivated or stereotypically founded. They trip, they make mistakes, they misspeak, they get distracted, usually by women, remain too passive and awkward at moments, wonder just a bit too long, miss important details, and even while working fairly diligently to complete their tasks. They're people. And we can understand them for it. When applied to his antagonists, we really find ourselves not thinking of them in that way. Struck by grief, walled in by poor past choices, determined to complete their work, broken by circumstance, we understand their choices, even sympathize. Is it any wonder that, largely, conflict is not about good versus evil, but more often, is this a safe and wise choice? Of course, behind all these relationship challenges lurks something quite terrible. And while we come to learn its general nature as these stories progress, we are not permitted to look directly at it. That way, says Lovecraft, lies madness. But I don't think this is a matter of Sloane's being unable to describe the unnameable things that wait beyond the natural world. Rather, he understands that the nature of horror lies in the weight of our own imaginations. In the movies, we're always waiting for that creature to finally show itself, and when it does, we too often throw ourselves out of the movie experience and judge its believability, its CGI, its measure as a creature we might kill with a handy screwdriver. Sloane would rather leave us with dread that his horror is far larger, more implacable, and that its physical threat to us is the very least of our worries.